kabar semuanya? Balik lagi sama aku di vlog aku ya. Nah, kali ini aku sama suami kita mau ngomongin soal 6 kesamaan dari orang Indonesia dengan orang Italia. Masa sih bisa sama? Mereka kan dari barat, sedangkan kita budayanya budaya timur. Jadi pengen tahu kan kalian apa aja yang sama. So we are going to talk about similarity between Italian and Indonesians.
Yeah, you would think that a culture that's both on the cultural side and geographical side so distant from each other, actually living with you and knowing more about Indonesian through your family, through yourself, it makes me realize there are so many things in common that normally people, both Italians or Indonesian, probably never thought about.
So, nomor pertama adalah kita sebagai orang Indonesia kan cinta banget tuh sama makanan kita. Selalu nggak bisa hidup tanpa makanan Indonesia. Pasti kalaupun kalian travel ke luar negeri, kalian pasti akan selalu pengennya makan makanan Indonesia, kangen makanan Indonesia. Apalagi kalau kalian tinggal di luar negeri yang udah lama, terus nggak bisa pulang ke Indonesia, pasti yang paling dikangenin adalah makanan Indonesia. So I'm talking about Indonesians are always missing the Indonesian food, especially if they're living overseas. It's the same like Italians, right?
Yeah, they share a sheer love for food, because also this in a way connect also to the social side of it. Because both Indonesian and Italian, they like to eat among friends, with the family, around the same, either the circles or the table, which is something that not all culture have. And that would be probably the first thing that an Italian would say. What do you miss about Italy the most? It would be probably first would be the food, then family
like
and friends.
Food is number one. Oke, itu tadi yang pertama. Yang pertama adalah kecintaan kita sama makanan dari mana kita berasal ya, dari negara kita, dari Indonesia dan dari Italia. Lalu yang kedua adalah the sense of care for the family.
Yeah, both culture have a very strong sense of the family, like caring, sharing, and
we like to gather with family.
It's very important to eat together, all together with the family,
and especially in the special occasions, like
especially
in Indonesia like
in
Idul Fitri, and then in Italy usually like Christmas or even Ferragosto, and you always
Ferragosto, like Easter. Well, I realized that other culture. Even if you think about in America, Thanksgiving and Christmas, they pretty much do the same.
Ya, kayak orang Indonesia juga sih, kita kan suka ngumpul makan bareng. Kalau misalnya makan banyak orang, banyak temennya, makannya jadi lebih enak karena ada temennya. When you gather and eat together, you kind of feel better, like when you eat, right? And because you have a companion,
you feel comfortable, you feel at home. It's a very warm feeling, and it's really hard to find it anywhere else unless you're really among your loved ones.
Oke, selanjutnya yang ketiga adalah masih berhubungan sih sebenarnya, kayak perasaan dekat sama keluarga dan teman. Ini juga keramahan. Jadi orang-orang Italia itu sama kayak orang Indonesia, ramah-ramah, terus terasa lebih hangat. They are warm and friendly. The people
there's a sense of
to be more feel. You could feel it.
Yeah, a very welcoming feeling. Which again, you might argue that because, for example, in Italy also depends a lot on the region where you are. The southern you go, the more warm and loud the people are. They loud in showing you their love. But generally speaking, that's what you always had the feeling, even like when we were catching up with my friends. Always have that kind of feeling of being almost in another family. So and that's the feeling that I had every time. It's like a big family and very warm. But even the people, well, in Indonesia, because being a bule, you're a Western and you're sticking out, like a, I don't know, a green parrot among like sparrows. So they will immediately recognize you, and but they always very nice to you. Always you feel almost special.
Oke, selanjutnya yang keempat adalah seperti yang kalian tahu, apalagi kalau orang-orang yang tinggal di Jakarta pasti selalu tahu ini. Kalau orang-orang di Jakarta itu lebih memperhatikan penampilan. Kayaknya penampilan tuh dinilai. Kalau kalian penampilannya jelek, kayak kalian nggak trendy, atau kalian nggak keren, kalian nggak gaul, kalian kelihatan kayak gelandangan, kayak gitu-gitu kan. Tapi kalau di sini orang-orangnya lebih kayak santai, nggak terlalu mikirin. Tapi ini sama kayak orang-orang Italia. Orang-orang di Italia juga lebih memperhatikan penampilan. So the Italian people care more about the appearance as well.
Yeah, and myself coming from Milan, which is like
Especially in Milan.
capital of fashion. I mean, I myself never really too much being into dressing, dressing up too much or in a very elegant way. I prefer to be casual. But for me, it was still today kind of traumatic to see sometimes how little care they put in the way they appear. We make an example. And for them here, it's normal to go around like barefoot. It's actually a peculiar identity thing for Kiwis, like the freedom to go around barefoot. But in Italy, it wouldn't be socially accepted. They will think you have an issue or you're homeless, or even like people going around with their pajamas or even bathrobes. We've seen people walking around bathrobes. If you do that in Italy, they will think like you just ran out from a mental institution or something. There's something wrong with you. You really have to take care the way you look.
Tapi itu kalian akan sering banget lihat kalau misalnya kalian jalan-jalan ke New Zealand deh. Nanti kalau abis Covid kalian bisa jalan-jalan ke New Zealand, kalian akan lihat banyak orang yang kayak gitu, yang nggak pakai, yang nyeker, yang nggak pakai sepatu, nggak pakai sendal, atau ya gaya-gaya eksentrik yang mungkin kalian jarang lihat. Yang selanjutnya ini sebenarnya nggak terlalu membanggakan, kesamaannya adalah korupsi. Jadi korupsi di Indonesia kan kalian tahu sendiri gimana sudah mengakarnya itu korupsi yang suka bikin kita marah kalau kita lihat berita. Sama kayak di Italia juga. Cuma memang kalau di Italia mungkin nggak terlalu buruk kalau dibandingin sama Indonesia. Cuma sama, nggak di mana-mana tuh korupsi selalu ada. So
it's something that all of us should be proud.
Not proud
about. But sadly, we have a common ground, both countries, because corruption is a problem in Italy too. I remember recently, maybe then you can do a fact check and you can put some graphics, but I remember, and then correct me on the graphics if you can, but like the perception of corruption, starting like number one being the one with less perception of corruption. I think that Italy was 42, place 42, and Indonesia 72, something around that place. So not incredibly far from each other.
Lagi juga kalau misalnya korupsi terus masih banyak yang mendukung korupsi ini untuk ada, ya akan terus ada.
Let's fight corruption.
Ayo, kita harus berubah biar rankingnya naik. Jadi korupsinya udah turun. Oke, yang terakhir nomor 6 adalah birokrasi yang berbelit-belit. Ini sama banget. Karena di Indonesia aku nggak tahu sih ya, karena aku nggak tinggal di Indonesia tuh udah lumayan lama, jadi sekarang aku beneran nggak tahu. Meskipun terakhir kali sempet ngurus surat pelaporan itu udah mulai bagus sih kalau di Jakarta. Cuma masih sering dengar yang katanya birokrasinya masih berbelit-belit, entah dokumennya harus yang asli dibawa atau yang kayak gitu-gitulah. Masih banyak peraturan-peraturan, persyaratan-persyaratan yang sebenarnya kayak gak simple dan terlalu berbelit-belit. So we're talking about this bureaucracy, process. And
in Italy we have so many laws, and even when it comes to taxes, it's a nightmare actually. The taxes situation in Indonesia is a lot better than the one in Italy. They're trying to simplify it and to improve it, but they've been all the governments have been trying to do that, but
trying to make it
it's such like a huge task, and always have the feeling that they never really sorted that out. So
kayak di Indonesia, mungkin sekarang udah lebih baik kali ya. Aku juga udah lama kan nggak tinggal di sana, nggak ngurus surat. Cuma ya itu mungkin karena banyak persyaratan yang masih berbelit-belit, jadi kadang-kadang bikin bingung. Atau peraturan yang selalu berubah-berubah tiap tahun, tiap ganti pemimpin berubah lagi. Sometimes it's even like they just change the law according to who is the leader at that time, and they change the policy
all the time.
Sometimes
it's
just
happening all the time.
making it more complicated.
Yeah, no, I think both Indonesia and Italy share like a common monster called bureaucracy. And
Oke, jadi itu tadi 6 kesamaannya. Menurut kalian gimana? Coba kalau misalnya kalian yang mungkin kenal orang Italia, bener atau enggak nih kita sama kayak gitu. Atau misalnya kalian punya pacar orang Italia atau suami orang Italia, coba tanya kesamaannya. Atau mungkin kalian ngerasa juga, atau kalian punya kesamaan lagi yang mungkin kita nggak sebut, bisa komen di bawah. So yeah, that's it I think, and you can comment down below if you know any other similarity that maybe we didn't mention today. And jangan lupa untuk di subscribe, di like, di share biar makin banyak yang nonton. Sampai ketemu di vlog berikutnya ya. Ciao.
Ciao.